It's a sunny spring day. You look around, you smell the air, and what are your senses feeling? If you're thinking along the same lines as me, you're most likely thinking of the sun shining, the breeze blowing, the beautiful flowers blooming. But when the breeze is blowing, you can smell the flowers and the air, but more importantly, you can smell the pollen. I know many of you have given or received a beautiful bouquet of flowers, or maybe you're even allergic. But could you imagine a world where you couldn't just go to the store and pick them up? Today, I will persuade you to act and care about the honeybee crisis. I will be persuading you all today on the massive impact honeybees have on the importance of maintaining a healthy world. First, I will convince you the importance bees have on sustaining our agricultural well-being. Next, I will display the problems that will arise with the elimination of honeybees. And finally, I will show a solution to help aid in this growing crisis. There are many different things in nature that also contribute to agriculture, but honeybees are one of the biggest contributors. Honeybees are very important to the agriculture because of their abilities and their dominance over other pollinators. In the sub-article, Importance of Bees in Nature, it states, bees in most flowering plants have developed a complex interdependence during millions of years. An estimated 80% of flowering plants are entomophilous, in other words, depending more or less on insect pollination to be able to reproduce. And it is estimated that half of the pollinators of tropical plants are bees. And this is important because it shows that bees are really doing majority of the pollinating work. Also, this article says nectar is produced to attract the bees. Pollen is also attracting the bees, but it has other functions too. It is produced to ensure the next generation of plants, further stating the importance bees have in the agricultural world because they're feeding on that nectar and that pollen. Also, honeybees are the most important pollinator. Author Paul Rose, in his article, The Importance of Bees in Natural and Agricultural World, states, many taxa, including moss flies, beetles, hummingbirds, and bats function as pollinators. Bees are the most effective in many cases. Rhodes goes on to also add that bee larvae and adults both rely almost entirely on pollen and nectar for sustenance, and this means that the distance moved between flowers and the number of visits is a much larger amount than any other pollinator, showing why saving the bees is very important in our ecosystem, and it is a much more efficient and easier way to get pollinating about. He also states that the wasp, which is the most similar organism to the honeybee, can only feed on nectar in adult form, while the honeybee can do it all the time. They don't need to become an adult to be able to feed, which is why the growth of honeybees is so important. Now that I have shown you why bees are so influential to our agriculture, there are many drawbacks without them. Although it seems to most that the other pollinators can do the trick without the bees, this is not true due to the many problems that would arise without them. The ecosystem would have to be revised, killing off other species if the honeybee is not saved. An author, Melissa Petruzzello, states other plants may utilize a variety of pollinators, but many are most successfully pollinated by bees. Without bees, they would set fewer seeds and would have lower reproductive success. This is something apparent for plants such as the bee orchid, which is a plant that is exclusively bee pollinating. They're only exclusive to bees. And adding on beyond plants, many animals such as beautiful bee-eater birds would lose their prey in the event of a die-off, and this would also impact natural systems and food webs, shown here where the honeybee is in the middle, and you can see the spider is pointing at it, the flower needs it, the rose needs it, and also so does the bird, which shows the massive importance that the honeybees have on the agriculture and our ecosystem. So far, I have argued that bees' existence in agriculture is vital to the development of plants as we know them, and there will be many problems in our ecosystem without them. Now, I will display the solution to saving these treasured insects. There are many helpful ways to save the honeybees, and the decrease of pesticides use is a major way to stop the kill-off of bees. Author Eleanor Andrews states in the article, "To save the bees or not to save the bees, honeybee health in the Anthropocents. Pests and pathogens quickly spread as migratory pollination operations, but honeybees from all over the country in contact with one another. These direct stressors are exacerbated by a decline in the acreage of honeybee forage in the US because of the agriculture intensification and development. Furthermore, some pesticides pose a problem. Their effects are increasingly sublethal, meaning that they do not kill bees directly on contact, but there is increasing evidence that they interact synergistically with one another." Today, I have persuaded you and shown you many reasons bees are an essential part of everyday life. First, I touch on bees' importance to sustaining our agriculture. Also, I stated the problems that would arise without honeybees. And finally, I have shown you some solutions to saving the bees. Although bees may seem literally and figuratively small to you in everyday life, it is important that the population as a whole works together to fix this problem. Today, flowers are a simple gift just given to anybody in life, such as your mom, your boss, your friend, or your neighbor. And for this gift, the only thing making it possible is bees. Also, like I mentioned previously, there are many other animals that will become endangered after the collapse of these creatures. Nature is something we all see every day, whether it be outside or if you have plants in your house, and majority of this is possible due to the bees. We all live in Washington State, which we know has an abundance of plants, and this is all possible due to the bees, and we wouldn't want to see that go away. I encourage you to think deeper into this, and if after this you're interested in donating, you can at thebeeconservancy.org/donate. Thank you.